Number aliens accidentally summon Deathworlders. Entire Armada responds. Number. Part 1. The Signal. The Valari Collective had ruled the Outer Spiral for 3,000 years. They were not warriors. They were not conquerors. They were survivors, and they had survived by being very, very careful. High Arbiter Nolith stood at the center of the emergency council chamber aboard the flagship Serenity's Grace. Her skin was thin and see-through, like glass, and through it you could see her 3 hearts beating fast, too fast. She was afraid, and everyone in the room could see it. Around her sat delegates from 12 different species. The Keth were there, tall insect creatures with many eyes and sharp clicking mouths. The Omari floated in special containers, because they were made of gas and could not survive in normal air. The Droth sat in the corner, their bodies made of living crystal that rang like bells when they were upset. Right now, they would not stop ringing. "Tell me again," Nolith said. Her voice was calm, but her skin had turned violet. Among the Valari, violet meant fear. "Tell me exactly what happened." Science lead Borath stepped forward. He was a young Keth, barely 200 years old. His many eyes looked at the floor. He could not meet the High Arbiter's gaze. "We were digging on Valari Prime," he said. Site 7. The Old Ruins. "We found something buried very deep, a pyramid made of black stone, covered in writing that none of us could read. And you touched it. We did not know what it was. The writing was old. Older than the Collective. Older than anything we have ever found." Borath's voice shook. There was a button. Just one button. We pressed it. The room was silent. The pyramid started to glow. Borath continued. Then it sent out a signal. A very strong signal. Stronger than anything our technology can make. We tried to turn it off. We tried to destroy it. Nothing worked. The signal has been going out for 18 rotations now. "Going out to where?" Nolith asked, though she already knew the answer. She had known since the moment she received the first report. Borath finally looked up. His compound eyes reflected the holographic display that floated in the center of the room. It showed a star map. One star was blinking red. "To the quarantine zone," he said. "To the system we call Sol. To the 3rd planet from that star." He paused. "To Earth." The room erupted in chaos. The Omari swirled in their containers, their gaseous bodies turning dark with panic. The Droth rang so loudly that some delegates covered their ears. The Keth clicked and chittered, their usual calm completely gone. Nolith raised one thin hand, and slowly, the room fell quiet again. "Earth," she said the word like it was poison. "You sent a signal to Earth." Every species in the galaxy knew about Earth. It was the most famous planet in existence, and also the most feared. The Valari had given it a special name. Category 1-2, Death World. The most dangerous classification possible. The planet itself was trying to kill everything on it. The star it orbited sent out radiation that caused sickness. The atmosphere was full of oxygen, a gas so dangerous it could make things burst into flames. The surface was covered in water, a substance that could dissolve almost anything. There were storms that could flatten cities. The ground itself would shake and open up without warning. Mountains would explode and cover the land in fire. And somehow, life had survived there. Not just survived, thrived. The creatures of Earth were nightmares made real. There were tiny things, too small to see, that could enter a body and kill it from the inside. There were plants that made poisons so deadly that a single touch meant death. There were animals with claws and teeth and venom and speed. But the worst creatures on Earth were the ones that called themselves human. The Valari had watched them for 200 years. They had sent small ships, hidden ships, to observe from a safe distance. What they saw had terrified them. Humans were persistence hunters. They did not run fast or have sharp claws. Instead, they would chase their prey for hours, for days, until the prey simply fell down and died from exhaustion. They never stopped. They never gave up. When humans could not find food, they did not starve. They changed. They adapted. They ate plants. They ate animals. They ate things that would poison any other species, and somehow survived. And when humans fought each other, they did not stop at claws and teeth. They made weapons. They made fire. They made explosives. They split the very atoms of their world and turned them into bombs that could destroy entire cities in a single flash of light. They were monsters. And now, someone had sent them an invitation. "Perhaps they will not respond," said Ambassador Tillith of the Omari. His gaseous form pulsed with hope, bright colors swirling through his containment sphere. "The signal was sent 18 rotations ago. Perhaps they did not receive it. Perhaps they do not care. Perhaps they are too busy fighting each other." Nolith wanted to believe that. She wanted it more than she had wanted anything in her 800 years of life. Then the communications officer spoke. She was a small Drath named Christith, young and nervous. Her crystalline body rang with alarm, a high-pitched sound that made everyone wince. "Hi, Arbiter," she said. "We are receiving a transmission." "From where?" Christith swallowed. It was strange to see a crystal creature swallow. But she did it anyway. "From Sol 3. From Earth." The room went absolutely silent. Even the Drath stopped ringing. "What does it say?" Nolith asked. Her voice was barely a whisper. Christith looked at her screen. Then she looked up, her crystal face full of confusion. "They are asking if we require assistance." No one moved. "Assistance," Nolith repeated. The word did not make sense. "What do you mean?" "Assistance. The message is short," Christith said. It says, "Signal received. Dispatching response fleet. Please advise on nature of emergency." "Do you require assistance?" Ambassador Tillith's containment sphere flickered. "They think we are in trouble." "They are sending a fleet," Boreth said. His voice was hollow. "A response fleet." "How many ships?" Christith checked her readings, then checked them again, then a third time. "I am reading 37 vessels," she said. "They are already moving. They will be here in approximately 6 standard rotations." Nolith closed all 4 of her eyes. 3,000 years. For 3,000 years, the Valari Collective had kept the peace by staying away from dangerous things. They had mapped every hostile world, catalogued every predator species, and built their entire civilization around one simple rule: never wake the monsters. And now, because of one curious scientist and one ancient button, the monsters were coming. "Send a reply," Nolith said. "Tell them it was a mistake. Tell them we do not need help. Tell them to turn back." Christith nodded and began typing. But deep in her 3 hearts, Nolith knew it would not matter. The humans were coming, and nothing in the galaxy could stop them. Number aliens accidentally summon Deathworlders. Entire Armada responds. Number. Part 2. First Contact. Commander Park Do-hoon stood on the bridge of the UNS Horizon and watched the stars turn into lines of light. The ship was moving faster than anything should be able to move, bending the rules of space and time in ways that scientists still did not fully understand. Behind him, 36 other ships followed in perfect formation. "Beautiful, is it not?" He said to no one in particular. Captain Kim Yuna stood beside him, her hands clasped behind her back. She was his second in command. A woman of 34 years, who had earned every rank through hard work and skill. Her face showed no emotion, but her eyes were sharp and watchful. "It is also dangerous," she said. "We are going to meet aliens. Real aliens. We have no idea what they want or what they can do." Do-hoon smiled. "That is what makes it interesting." The bridge of the horizon was large and filled with screens and controls. 12 officers sat at their stations, monitoring everything from engine power to life support to weapon systems. The ship hummed with energy, a sound that Do-hoon had learned to love over his 20 years in the Space Force. "Commander," said Lieutenant Baek Subin from the tactical station. He was a young man with a face that always seemed to be smiling, even when things were serious. "I have finished analyzing the signal. What did you find?" "It is definitely a distress call. The language is strange, but the meaning is clear. Someone was asking for help." Baek paused. "Or warning someone about danger. The translation is not perfect." "Could be both," said Navigation Officer Cho Mirei. She was a quiet woman who rarely spoke unless she had something important to say. I am picking up a lot of ships at our destination, several hundred, at least. All different types. A fleet? Do-hun asked. More like a gathering. They are not in any formation I recognize. They are just sort of floating there, scattered around. Mireille frowned at her screen. Actually, it looks like they are trying to hide behind each other. Bake laughed. That is a new defense strategy. Let me write that down. Step 1. Hide behind your friends. Enough, Yuna said, but there was a small smile on her face. Commander, what are your orders? Do-hun thought for a moment. This was the first time humanity had ever made contact with alien life. Everything he did from this point forward would be remembered in history books. He needed to be careful, but he also needed to be human. Open all communication channels, he said. Let them know we are coming. Send a message using the translation matrix we built from their signal. Keep it simple and friendly. Communications. Officer Moon Ji-hye nodded and began working at her station. She was excellent at her job, able to speak 7 Earth languages, and now working on alien ones. What should I say, Commander? Tell them we received their signal, and we are responding. Tell them we come in peace and mean no harm. Tell them we are here to help. Ji-hye typed quickly, her fingers dancing across the controls. Then she pressed a button, and the message flew out into space at the speed of light. For 3 hours, nothing happened. The human fleet continued moving through space, getting closer and closer to their destination. Do-hun used the time to review everything they knew about the aliens. It was not much. The signal had included some images and symbols, but no one really understood what any of it meant. Then Ji-hye suddenly sat up straight. Commander, we are receiving a reply. The bridge went quiet. Even Bake stopped smiling. Put it on the main screen, Do-hun ordered. The screen flickered, and then words appeared. The translation matrix had done its best to convert the alien language into something humans could understand. Please do not come. Signal was error. We do not need help. Please turn back. We surrender. Do-hun read the message twice to make sure he understood. They surrender? Bake said, confused. We have not done anything yet. They are afraid of us, Yuna said quietly. Very afraid. Do-hun nodded slowly. He had suspected this might happen. Earth had a reputation in the galaxy. Or so the scientists theorized. Any alien civilization that had observed humanity would have seen their wars, their weapons, their endless ability to survive and destroy, but they would not have seen the other side. They would not have seen humans helping each other after disasters. They would not have seen doctors working without sleep to save lives. They would not have seen the countless small acts of kindness that held human civilization together. Send another message, Do-hun said. Tell them we understand their fear. Tell them we are not here to fight or conquer. Tell them we heard someone call for help, and we came to answer. That is all. Ji-hye sent the message. The reply came faster this time. You are Deathworlders. Your planet is classified Category 1-2. You are the most dangerous species in the known galaxy. Your arrival fulfills a prophecy we have spent 3,000 years trying to prevent. Category 1-2 Deathworld, Bake read aloud. That sounds impressive. What does it mean? Science Officer Ha Jung-woo spoke up from his station. He was the youngest officer on the bridge, barely 25. But he was brilliant. Based on the signal data, I believe their classification system rates planets by how dangerous they are to life. Category 1-2 appears to be the highest level, so they think Earth is the most dangerous planet in the galaxy, Yuna said. Technically, they are correct, Jung-woo said. Our planet does have extreme conditions. High radiation, corrosive atmosphere, unpredictable geology, dangerous wildlife. By their standards, we should not have survived. But we did, Do-hun said. We survived, and we grew strong. And now they think we are monsters. He walked to the center of the bridge and looked at the view screen. In the distance, he could just barely see the alien ships. They were strange shapes, all curves and soft edges, Nothing like the sharp angles of human vessels. Send one more message, he said. Tell them this. We know what we are. We know our world made us hard, made us strong, made us dangerous. But it also made us something else. It made us stubborn. When we see someone in trouble, we help them. When we hear a call for help, we answer. We cannot turn off that part of ourselves, even if we wanted to. We are coming, and we will not harm you. We give you our word. Jihei sent the message. For a long time, there was no reply. Then, finally, a short response appeared on the screen. We will prepare a meeting place. The High Arbiter will speak with you. Please do not destroy us. Bake shook his head. They really think we are going to destroy them. Then we will have to prove them wrong, Dohun said. He turned to his crew. Everyone, this is the moment humanity has been waiting for since we first looked up at the stars. We are about to meet another civilization. They are scared of us, and maybe they have reason to be. But we are going to show them what humans really are. Not monsters, not conquerors. Just people who came because someone needed help. He took a deep breath. Take us in, slowly and carefully. Let them see we mean what we say. The human fleet moved forward, 37 ships carrying the hopes of an entire species, heading toward the most important meeting in the history of the universe. Number aliens accidentally summon Deathworlders. Entire Armada responds. Number, Part 3. The meeting. The meeting station floated in empty space, halfway between the two fleets. It was small, built quickly by Valari workers who had never constructed anything so fast in their lives. High Arbiter Nolith had insisted on neutral ground for the meeting. She did not want the humans on any of her ships, and she certainly did not want to go onto one of theirs. She stood at the entrance now, watching through the window as the human shuttle approached. It was an ugly thing. All sharp corners and gray metal. Even their small ships looked like weapons. Are you sure about this? Asked Borath. The young Keth scientist stood beside her, his many eyes fixed on the shuttle. You could send someone else, a diplomat, an ambassador. No, Nolith said. Her 3 hearts were beating fast, but she kept her voice calm. This is too important. I must see these creatures myself. The shuttle docked with a loud clunk. The sound made Nolith jump, and her skin flashed violet for just a moment before she controlled herself. The door opened. 3 humans stepped through. Nolith had studied images of humans for days, preparing for this moment. But images were not the same as seeing them in person. They were shorter than she expected, barely reaching her shoulder. Their skin was soft and came in different shades of brown. They had hair on their heads, black and thick. They walked on 2 legs, moving with a strange kind of balance that seemed impossible. The leader stepped forward. He was male, according to the information Nolith had gathered. He wore a dark blue uniform with silver decorations. His eyes were dark, almost black, and they met her gaze without fear. He was smiling. Nolith knew that humans showed their teeth when they were happy. She also knew they showed their teeth when they were about to attack. She could not tell which this was. High Arbiter Nolith, the human said. His voice came through a translation device on his collar, turning his words into Valari language. Thank you for meeting with us. I am Commander Park Dohun of the United Nations Space Force. Commander Park, Nolith replied. She was proud that her voice did not shake. Welcome to the meeting station. She led them to a room in the center of the station. It was simple, with a table and chairs that had been designed to fit both Valari and human bodies. Nolith sat on one side. The 3 humans sat on the other. The female human was introduced as Captain Kim Yuna. She had the same dark hair and eyes as her commander, and she watched everything with sharp attention. The 3rd human was younger, a science officer named Ha Jungwoo. He kept looking around the room with what Nolith thought might be excitement. Let me start by saying something clearly, Commander Park said. We know you are afraid of us. We understand why. Our world is dangerous. Our history is violent. We have done terrible things to each other. Nolith said nothing. She had read the reports about human wars. The numbers of dead were beyond imagining. But we did not come here to hurt anyone. The commander continued. We received your signal. We thought someone was in trouble. So we came to help. That is the only reason. You brought an armada, Nolith said. Yes, 37 warships, including one of the largest vessels we have ever seen. Yes. The commander did not look ashamed. When we answer a call for help, we do not know what kind of help will be needed. Maybe the problem is small, and we brought too much. Maybe the problem is big, and we brought just enough. We prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Nolith leaned forward. Your ship, the large one, what do you call it? The Soul's Pride. It is a dreadnought, our most powerful class of vessel. In the private, the Soul's Pride. In the private, it is a dreadnought. It is a dreadnought. It is a dreadnought, our most powerful class of vessel. It is a dreadnought, our most powerful class of vessel. It is a dreadnought. What can it do? Commander Park was quiet for a moment. Then he answered honestly. It can destroy planets. The room was silent. You brought a ship that can destroy planets, Nolith said slowly, because you wanted to help us. If something was attacking you, something big and dangerous, we wanted to be able to stop it. The commander's voice was calm. We hoped we would not need it, but we brought it anyway, because hope is not a strategy. Nolith thought about this. In her 800 years, she had never met a species that planned for violence while claiming to want peace. It was confusing, it was frightening, but there was also something else. Something she had not expected. It was honest. The humans were not pretending to be weak. They were not hiding their strength. They had come with their full power on display, and they were telling her exactly what they could do. No tricks. No lies. Just truth. Why? She asked. The question came out before she could stop it. Why what? Why do you help? Nolith spread her thin hands. You say you came because you heard our signal. But why answer at all? What do you gain from traveling across the stars to help strangers you have never met? Commander Park looked at his officers. Something passed between them. Some silent communication that Nolith could not read. Then, he turned back to her. We gain nothing, he said. Helping costs us. It costs fuel and time, and sometimes lives. There is no profit in it. No advantage. Then why do it? The commander's smile faded. For the first time, he looked tired, old, sad. Because we remember, he said quietly. We remember what it is like to call for help and hear nothing. We remember the times when no one came, when people died alone, when the universe was cold and empty, and no one cared. He looked directly into Nolith's eyes. Our world taught us that survival is hard. Life is fragile. The universe does not care about anyone or anything, so we have to care. We have to be the ones who answer when someone calls. We have to be the help that we wished we had. Nolith's 3 hearts skipped. She had read so many reports about humans. She knew about their wars. She knew about their weapons. She knew about the bombs that could flatten cities, and the diseases they had created in laboratories, and the million ways they had found to kill each other. But she was only now realizing something else. Despite all of that, despite every reason to give up and let the weak die, humans kept helping each other. Natural disasters happened, and humans from across their planet sent food and medicine. Wars ended, and the winners helped rebuild the losers. Diseases spread, and scientists worked without rest to find cures. Over and over, again and again, humans chose to help. Not because they had to, not because they gained anything, just because they could. You are very strange creatures, Nolith said softly. Commander Park laughed. It was a warm sound, not threatening at all. We have been told that before. Your planet should have killed you. Your own violence should have destroyed you. By every logical calculation, you should be extinct. And yet here we are, the commander said. Still alive, still helping, still refusing to give up. Nolith made a decision. Commander Park, she said, I believe you. I do not fully understand you, but I believe that you mean what you say. Perhaps. She hesitated. Perhaps we can talk more. Perhaps there is a way for our peoples to work together. The commander's smile returned. I would like that very much. High Arbiter. Oh, they talked for hours after that. They discussed trade and culture and science. They shared information about their histories and their hopes for the future. It was the beginning of something new, something neither species had expected. But as they talked, neither of them knew that danger was coming. Far away, at the edge of the star system, sensors were detecting something. Something that had been hidden for 3,000 years. Something that had been waiting, and now, it was waking up. Number aliens accidentally summon Deathworlders. Entire Armada responds. Number. Part 4. The Enemy. Commander Park Do-hoon was in his quarters, reading a trade proposal from the Valari, when the alarm started screaming. He was on his feet and running before the sound finished. The hallways of the horizon were suddenly full of sailors rushing to their stations. Do-hoon pushed through them, his heart beating fast. In his 20 years of service, he had heard that alarm only twice. It meant one thing: enemy attack. He reached the bridge in 90 seconds. Captain Yuna was already there, standing at the tactical display with her arms crossed. Her face was calm, but her eyes were hard. Report, Do-hoon said. Unknown vessels dropping out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the system, Yuna said. A lot of them. How many? Still counting. At least 400 so far. More arriving every minute. Do-hoon looked at the tactical display. It showed the star system as a map of dots and lines. The Valari fleet was clustered near a planet, shown as blue dots. The human fleet was positioned between them and open space, shown as green dots. And now there were red dots, hundreds of them, appearing out of nothing at the edge of the system. Who are they? Do-hoon asked. Lieutenant Bake was at his station, pulling up information. Checking with the Valari now. He paused, as data came in on his screen. Then his face went pale. Commander, the Valari say they are called the Ravith. I have not heard of them. Neither had I. But according to the Valari database, the Ravith were a species that existed 3,000 years ago. They were aggressive, violent. They attacked every other species they encountered and destroyed 13 civilizations completely. Were? Yuna said. Past tense? The Valari thought they were extinct. The entire Valari collective was formed to stop them. There was a great war. The Ravith were defeated and supposedly wiped out. Bake looked up from his screen. Apparently they were wrong. On the display, more red dots appeared. Then more. The count passed 500. The Valari are panicking, said Communications Officer Moon Ji-hye. High Arbiter Nolith is requesting immediate evacuation. She says her ships cannot fight the Ravith. She says nothing can. Do-hoon watched the red dots moving. They were organizing into formations, spreading out to surround the system. Professional, organized. This was not a random attack. This was an invasion. They must have detected the same signal we did, said Science Officer Ha Jung-woo. His voice was quiet. The ancient beacon. It called to Earth, but it also called to them. They have been hiding somewhere, rebuilding their strength, waiting for the right moment. And now they are back to finish what they started. Yuna finished. Do-hoon was silent for a long moment. He looked at his crew. These people had followed him across the stars to answer a call for help. They had come in peace. They had hoped for friendship, but hope was not a strategy. Open a channel to all human ships, he said. The communication officer pressed a button. Channel open, Commander. Do-hoon spoke, and his voice went out to 37 vessels, to thousands of sailors waiting at their stations. This is Commander Park. Unknown hostile forces are approaching the Valari fleet. We do not know these creatures. We have no treaties with them. We have no obligations here. He paused. But we received a call for help, and we answered it. The people behind us trusted us enough to call, and we will not abandon them now. They are scared. They cannot fight. They need someone to stand between them and the darkness. He took a breath. Today, that someone is us. All ships, Move to defensive positions around the Valari fleet. Weapons free on hostile contact. Today, we show the galaxy what humanity is made of. On the dreadnought Soul's Pride, Admiral Zhang Unji heard the message and smiled. She was a woman of 60 years, gray-haired and strong. She had waited her whole career for a battle that mattered. Now she had won. All batteries prepare to fire, she ordered. Load the main guns. Today we earn our pay. On the medical ship Healing Hand, Chief Medical Officer Yoon Hana heard the message and began preparing for the worst. She was a doctor, not a soldier, but she knew what was coming. Her medical bays would be full soon, very full. All teams, emergency stations, she called out. Prepare for mass casualties. We are going to be busy. On the carrier Incheon, Wing Commander Shin Tae-woo heard the message and grabbed his helmet. He was a pilot, one of the best humanity had ever produced. His fighter was waiting in the launch bay, armed and ready. All pilots, get to your ships, he announced. We launch in 5 minutes. Let us show these Raveth what human pilots can do. Across the fleet, humans prepared for war. Back on the horizon, Do-hun watched the tactical display. The Raveth ships were closing in, moving faster now. They had realized that the human fleet was not running. Commander, Ji-hae said, the Raveth are sending a message. Put it on screen. The image that appeared was not human. It was not Valari. It was something else entirely. The Raveth were tall and thin, with dark gray skin and eyes that glowed red. Their faces were long and narrow, with mouths full of sharp teeth. They wore black armor that seemed to absorb light. The one on the screen spoke. The translation came through slowly, struggling with the alien language. You are in our space. The Valari belong to us. They escaped our justice once. They will not escape again. Leave now, and we will allow you to live. Stay, and you will die with them. Do-hun looked at the creature on the screen. He thought about everything he had learned in the past few days. The Valari were weak, peaceful. They had spent 3,000 years avoiding danger because they could not fight. The humans could leave. They had no duty here, no obligation. The Raveth were not their enemy. The Valari were not their friends, not really. Just strangers they had met a few days ago. But the Valari had called for help, and humans answered calls for help. This is Commander Park Do-hun of the United Nations Space Force, he said. The Valari are under our protection. If you attack them, you attack us. And we do not run from fights. The Valari, the Raveth on the screen made a sound that might have been laughter. You are 37 ships. We are 600. You cannot win. Do-hun smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Maybe, he said. But we are Deathworlders. And we are very hard to kill. He cut the communication. All ships, he ordered, prepare for battle. The first Raveth weapons fired 30 seconds later, and the war began. Number aliens accidentally summon Deathworlders. Entire Armada responds. Number. The Battle of Valari Prime lasted 6 hours. It should have lasted 6 minutes. The Raveth outnumbered the human fleet nearly 12-1. Their ships were built for war, designed over thousands of years to destroy anything they encountered. Their weapons were powerful, their armor was strong, their tactics were perfect, but they had never fought humans. The first Raveth wave hit the Soul's Pride and broke apart like water hitting a rock. The dreadnought took hit after hit, damage that would have destroyed any Valari ship. Admiral Zhang Yunji stood on her bridge, watching the numbers on her screens, and laughed. Is that all they have? She said. Return fire. All batteries. Give them something to remember. The Soul's Pride had 144 main guns. When they fired together, the light was bright enough to blind sensors. 3 Raveth cruisers exploded in the first second. Their armor is weak, Captain Yuna reported from the horizon. They are not used to fighting anything that shoots back. 3,000 years of bullying weak species, Lieutenant Bake added. He was coordinating attacks across the fleet, his fingers flying over his controls. They forgot what a real fight looks like. The human fighters launched from the carrier Incheon in perfect formation. 60 small ships, each carrying one pilot, each armed with weapons that could tear through enemy armor. Wing Commander Shin Tae-woo led them into the Ravith lines. "Stay close. Watch your wingman. Call your targets," he ordered. "Let us show them what we can do." His fighter rolled and dove through a gap in the enemy formation. A Ravith destroyer tried to track him, but he was too fast, too unpredictable. He fired twice. The destroyer exploded. "Scratch one," he called out. "These things fly like they have never seen evasive maneuvers." "They probably have not," his wingmate Park Soo-jin replied. Her voice was calm as she twisted her fighter through a cloud of enemy fire. Every species they fought before was slower than them. They do not know how to handle someone faster. The human pilots danced through the battle, destroying ship after ship. They lost people. Lieutenant Kang went down in the first hour, his fighter torn apart by concentrated fire. Ensign Yu died covering her squad mate's retreat. Pilot after pilot gave their lives, but they kept fighting. That was what humans did. On the medical ship Healing Hand, Dr. Yoon Hana worked without rest. The wounded kept coming, carried in from damaged ships, pulled from escape pods, sometimes barely alive. Her hands were covered in blood, human and otherwise. Her nurses were exhausted. Her supplies were running low, but she kept working. "This one needs surgery now," she ordered, pointing at a young sailor with burns covering half his body. "That one can wait 10 minutes. Put pressure on that wound and do not let go." A nurse looked at her with tired eyes. "Doctor, there are too many. We cannot save them all." "Then we save as many as we can," Yoon said. "That is what we do. We fight until we cannot fight anymore. And then we fight some more." The battle raged on. The human fleet was taking damage. The destroyer Daegu lost its engines and drifted, helpless, until the cruiser Busan pulled it to safety. The frigate Pohang took a direct hit to its bridge, killing half its officers. The escort ship Chungmu exploded with all hands, 200 sailors gone in an instant. Commander Park felt each loss like a physical blow. These were his people. His responsibility. He had brought them here. And now, they were dying. But they were also winning. "Commander," Lieutenant Cho Mirei reported, "enemy losses are approaching 40%. They are starting to fall back." Do-hoon looked at the tactical display. She was right. The Ravith were retreating, their perfect formation breaking apart as ship after ship was destroyed. They had expected an easy victory. They had not expected this. "They are not used to losing," Science Officer Ha Jung-woo said quietly. "They have won every battle for thousands of years. They do not know what to do when things go wrong." "Then let us make things go more wrong," Do-hoon said. "All ships, press the attack. Do not give them time to regroup." The human fleet pushed forward. Battered and bleeding, missing 6 ships now, they attacked with everything they had left. It was not strategy. It was not tactics. It was pure, stubborn human refusal to quit. And it worked. On the neutral station, High Arbiter Nolith watched the battle with all 4 eyes wide open. She had seen the numbers at the start. 37 human ships against 600 Ravith vessels. It should have been impossible. But the humans would not stop fighting. She saw a human cruiser, its hull torn open and burning, ram itself into a Ravith battleship. Both ships exploded. She saw human fighters fly into enemy guns, knowing they would die, just to give their friends a few more seconds. She saw wounded ships limp back into formation, refusing to retreat. "Why?" she whispered. "Why do they keep fighting? They are dying." Borth stood beside her, his compound eyes reflecting the explosions outside. "I do not know. By every calculation, they should surrender. They cannot win." But they were winning. The Ravith flagship, the largest enemy vessel, tried to break through the human lines to attack the Valari fleet directly. Commander Park saw it coming. "All ships," he ordered, "concentrate fire on the flagship. Everything we have." 24 human vessels turned their guns on one target. The Soul's Pride alone fired over 500 missiles in 10 seconds. The flagship's shields flickered, failed, and vanished. The ship died in fire. Without their flagship, the Raveth fleet lost coordination. Ships began fleeing in random directions. Some tried to surrender. Some tried to fight alone, and were destroyed. Some simply ran as fast as they could toward open space. The humans let them go. "Do we pursue, Commander?" Captain Yuna asked. Do-hun shook his head. He was tired. So tired. "No, let them run. We came here to protect the Valari, not to destroy the Raveth. The job is done." The battle was over. The human fleet gathered its wounded and mourned its dead. 6 ships lost. Over 1,000 sailors killed. It was a heavy price, but they had paid it willingly, because that was what humans did. High Arbiter Nolith requested permission to come aboard the Horizon. Do-hun met her in the hangar bay, still wearing his battle-stained uniform. He had not slept in 2 days. Nolith looked at him, this small, soft creature who had just saved her entire species. Then she did something she had never done before. She bowed. "Commander Park," she said, "I do not have words for what you have done. You came to help strangers. You stayed to fight for strangers. You died for strangers. Some of us did," Do-hun said quietly. "Why?" Nolith asked. It was the same question she had asked before, but now it meant something different. "Your people died. Your ships were destroyed. You gained nothing. Why?" Do-hun was quiet for a long moment. Then he smiled. A tired smile full of sadness and pride. "Because you called," he said, "and we answered." 6 months later, the Treaty of Valari Prime was signed. It was the first formal alliance between humanity and the Valari Collective. Other species joined soon after. The Keth, the Omari, the Drath. One by one, the galaxy came to see that humans were not monsters. They were protectors. At the signing ceremony, Nolith stood beside Commander Park and watched as leaders from 12 species put their marks on the document. "My people spent 3,000 years fearing you," she said quietly. "We built our entire civilization around avoiding you. And now?" Park asked. Nolith looked at him. This small, strange creature from a world that should have killed him long ago. This Deathworlder who had chosen to save instead of destroy. "Now I wonder what we might have built together," she said. "If we had called sooner." Park smiled. It was a warm smile, full of hope for the future. "Let us find out," he said. Above them, human and Valari ships flew side by side, their shadows crossing in the light of a new star. The galaxy would never be the same, but that was okay. Change was how things got better, and things were definitely going to get better.